Okay, you guys. Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, right here on my Facebook page, Facebook timeline, and YouTube channel. Okay. Uh, I'm Linda Deer, and this is
I'm not Linda Deer. I'm Linda Deer's sidekick, partner, publisher, best friend,
he is, you
and the
guys.
guy that spells all the hard words around here.
I'm telling you, what would I do without my Ray Holly?
I
And
knew
you
that English
guys,
degree would come in handy, you know?
yeah, that's right. Okay. And like always, we are always so happy to be here with you guys on Tuesdays. And this Tuesday is special because it's the last Tuesday of this year before we roll into 2021, which happens to be exactly what this insight is all about. Okay. In Two Worlds with Linda Deer and Ray Holly. Welcome to episode number 263 of Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, a weekly gift of guidance from my spirit guides on navigating the uncertain world that you are now living in. Tonight, the guides will be talking about what to expect in 2021. The takeaway from this week's episode is you will have a plan to formulate for 2021. And here's what this will do for you. Without a plan, you will flounder as the confusion gets louder. You need to have a defense against that, something that makes sense so you don't get rocked off your center. And here's what I want you to do with it. Once you make a decision, a plan, stick to it regardless of the consequences. Do not allow fear of consequences to control you anymore. 2020 showed you a year filled with massive amounts of scams, fakes, and frauds. It was no accident that this happened throughout the year. It was meant to get your attention. Evil forces of greed and power fed off your doubts and fears. This showed you to yourself loud and clear. It was like a large boil of corruption, lies, propaganda, and censorship bubbling up to the surface of society that now must be dealt with in 2021. How will you, this new you, do this? First, you must realize it's time to choose what you stand for and take a stand. Decide how you will live your life going forward. Will it be in fear or in strength? We want you to visualize from clarity what your life will become if you allow the manipulation of 2020 to continue in 2021. The first step will begin with writing in your journal about how you summarize 2020. This is key, you guys. Make a new journal entry for each major point. Upon review of all these points, you will see for yourself where all this is pointing you to go, what you stand for, and how to live it. Okay, Ray. Okay, Ray.
Okay, Ray, we had a comment, a pretty good one here.
Yeah.
From Viola about over the past year, what she's been with us, for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's in the Netherlands. And Viola says, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Linda, Ray, and the guides for your guidance in this crazy year. Fear, confusion, doubt were all swept away when the truths revealed themselves by investigating the news and writing about what stood out to me. I've written to myself since I was a kid, but I always threw the diaries away because they sounded not like the person I thought I wanted to be. Now I know better. This stuff of getting to know myself is a process, a journey, and I love it. Things are not getting easier for me. However, my life is getting much more interesting. That's an interesting comment.
That is interesting.
I slowly move toward who I really am. I'm looking forward to 2021 with you on my side, knowing that you and Ray and the guides have my back. Veals Leafs, lots of love. Viola,
She's from the
that's
Netherlands.
the extent of my Dutch right there. Thank you. So Linda said, you and people like you are what keeps us doing this work. We have been guided to help the ones who can be reached. These messages have never been more important than they are right now. In 2021, for those who track their steps by writing in their journal each and every day, will be the ones who will know what to do and when to do it. Viola, you will be one of them.
Right. That's right. Otherwise, you guys are just going to run on hope and prayer and faith and just, I hope it works out. Oh, someone's going to save me, without doing your own work, without participating in this. And we're going to show you how this works. All right. Okay. So Ray, what else do you have?
Well, I mean, isn't that hope? You just said hope. I hope it's going to do this. Isn't that everybody's plan right around this time of year? New Year's Eve. Every year, I don't care if it's 2020, 2019, 1978, whatever.
Yeah.
They always say on New Year's Eve, I hope next year is better than this year.
There's no investment on your part when you think like that.
When you hope.
When you're just hoping that it's like getting down on your knees and going, please make it better. You've got power, you guys. You're powerful individually. You're so powerful. You need to start realizing that you are. That's what Viola was talking about. Viola used to write in her diary when she was a kid, and then she'd throw it away. I half think that what she was doing is what she was writing, she didn't want anyone to see it. Now, that's the right thing. That's truly the right thing to do. If you're writing in your journal and you start showing it to people, your writing is going to suffer. Your truth telling to yourself, you're going to pay a price. You can't do that. You've got to keep it to yourself. This journal writing, here's the journal. This is the companion journal to Guided, my flagship book, Guided. This is how I learned to do this. I reverse engineered my life and created this journal so you guys can do this, okay? That's where this came from. This came from me living it, okay? And I know this works. This is simple. This is it. You've got to be consistent with this. Writing in your journal each day. We're going to talk about that. In fact, I'm going to talk about it right now. Give me 1 minute, because I'm going to repeat something that at the end of this about how it works. The first steps will begin with writing in your journal about how you summarize 2020. And here's what I want you to do. This is not about hoping. You're going to see it on the pages. No more hoping, okay? Make a new journal entry for each major point that in your mind that happened in 2020. Each major point. Here's the journal entry page. You're going to write it here first, what that was, okay? And then you're going to go to the next page, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to write it right here. Now, there's 3 other questions to answer here. There's 4 total qualifying questions in each one of these journal entries. I don't want you to answer the ones on this side of the page until you write down on this side of the page let me say it again, make a new journal entry for each major point that happened in your life in 2020. Okay. And upon review of these points, you will see for yourself where all this is pointing you to go. And here's how you're going to do it. Once you've got, 5, 6, 7, however many journal entries you need for these specific points, then go back to the beginning where you made your first journal entry and ask yourself how it makes you feel, what you wrote down.
Okay, so you're summarizing your life in 2020, right?
Yeah, you're breaking it down.
This happened to me.
You're dissecting it.
So you're writing down what you experienced, what you're not making a judgment on did I like
You're
it, did I
not.
not like it.
No, in fact, that's a good point. What Ray's talking, it's a critical point. What you do when you write down what that was in 2020, what that is, and let me read it again here. This is really important. Make a journal entry for each major point that happened in 2020 in your life that you need to look into deeper before we move into 2021. This is going to be what shows you your path, okay? Because your path is different than my path, okay? And my path is different than somebody else's path. This is you. This is what you learned, what you need to know, okay? And then, like Ray said, over here about how it feels, you need to be clear about how this feels. That on this side, when you write it in here, write it without emotion. This is not any bias. This is a flat fact about what happened. Write it down like it happened, without emotion, without all the feelings, without any of that. The only time you interject the feelings is over here, once you wrote it down on this side. Then you don't talk about your emotions. No, you talk about how it makes you feel. That's different than emotions. Emotions keep you stuck in the problem. When you recognize what you wrote down, now you've got it on the page and you can see it out there instead of it being in here. It's not an emotional thing. It's on the page. Now you can look at it and say, So how does that make me feel? Does that make me mad? Does that make me feel whatever it happens to be? Okay. Write down how it makes you feel. Then you write down what that is. And after you flushed that out and you wrote down, you didn't just say, oh, it made me feel good or bad. That's not how it made you feel. That stuff surface. That's like taking a rock and throwing it over the water and watching it skip across the surface. You never looked into it. It never got down and submerged into how it made you feel. Okay. When you write down how it makes you feel, okay, there's going to be a lot that comes out of that. When you do a good job of that, the third question here is, now, what do you realize? You're going to know what that is. That will take no effort on your part. You write down what you realize. It's going to be instant. It's going to be an aha moment. And the fourth question is the action you're going to take. You guys, it's going to be so obvious, the action that you're going to take going forward into 2021. Okay. By the way, I'm going to be doing a training classes on how to perform on this. I'm going to have it available in February of next year. And it's going to be affordable. I have it now on my website, but it's not affordable for everybody. And it's a one-on-one with me. This will be a class where I pre-record it, so you guys can take these steps, these paces, and stay on the path when you write in your journal. Okay. All right, Ray.
Okay, so Linda Schwartz, and she said hi. She actually had a good year. She said, gratefully, she was spiritually prepared. She came out unscathed, pretty much. Just sad and frustrated to see how many of her friends drank the Kool-Aid and live a fear-based life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's a choice, you guys. It's a choice.
You
that's somebody who doesn't think, when people do that, they don't think they have a choice. They think that, they're running on fear. They doubt themselves, they fall into fear, and they become the target of something from outside of them.
She's thinking of any suggestions to her about how do you release those friends that are going the wrong way and allow them just to make their own choices? Because you can't stop them. You can't tell them they're wrong. You can't argue with them.
What you do, Linda, is you observe them. They're not gonna change the way that they're operating. You can't help somebody who doesn't ask for it. Okay. If they don't ask for it, they're not interested in anybody's help. We don't chase anybody. We don't advertise to people, to masses, so they'll come to us. No. People find us, and when it's a fit, it's a solid connection. All right. There's no chasing it. There's no trying to convince them, to go a certain way and trying to save them if they don't want it. So this is really all about a choice. So you observe them and use write in your journal about what you are observing, because it's not just them that's making that choice. They are a segment of the population of society that's choosing to go that way. So when you watch that, here's what it's in it for you. What are you learning from that?
Okay, so let me reflect. So I get this right. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do my review of 2020.
Right.
I'm going to write down what happened to me during 2020.
This would be one journal entry, Race.
One journal entry, what happened, or
one thing,
or what I experienced.
Right.
All right. So I'm looking for what happens and what I experienced. Did I do something for the first time? Did I experience something for the first time?
How I
coped with what happened.
How I reacted to it or
how
acted on it.
Yeah, how I reacted to what happened.
Yeah.
Because that's what just about everybody
So
does.
for Linda, this would be in the journal writing. What you'd write in there as an example, you'd write down, what do I do with my friends who are suffering, and I can't seem to reach them. I can't make the connection they're so invested in their pain and suffering.
And
that
you can't go where they are.
You can't you can't help them by going where they are.
Right.
So what do you do? That would be a good journal entry for you to write in here, so you can figure out how to manage yourself going forward. I can only tell you that you're the only one you have control over. Okay. And if they're impressed with that, if they look at you and go, wow, Linda, oh my God, I don't know how you did it, but I'm not doing very well. And you seem to be getting by pretty well. What am I missing? Then they come your way. Now you have something to work with. But if they don't come to you, if they don't reach out to you, help the ones who can be reached. The guides always say that. Don't bother other people who don't want to be bothered. They don't want to hear what any of us have to say if they didn't ask. Okay.
Yeah, otherwise you're just trying to convince them of what they think is your opinion.
Or bias. Then they attack you.
Right.
You totally don't need that. All right. That's not the way to go here. So we have some more things here, right?
We have some more people. We have Mimi. Hi, Mimi Baker, and Elizabeth, and same one. Elizabeth, Linda, and Mimi.
Okay.
Okay, so I got the first part. Recently, the guides made a post that talked about this. Okay, so let me back up a step.
Yeah.
I've looked at 2020. I've broken down maybe 5 or 6 things that happened that affected me.
That you want to look into.
Right, that affected me, and what I experienced from those things that happened. Now, once I do that, then I'm ready to ask myself what I realized from what I experienced.
No, you're ready to ask yourself how it feels.
Okay, how it feels.
You're missing the most important part.
How it feels. Okay, without being emotional.
Right. This is about how it feels, not how you took it. This isn't you being a victim or you being, hurt by what they did. No, it's not. Even if you were hurt by it, you should have wrote that in the first part where you talk about what happened. You could even say in there, this hurt my feelings, and I knew that wasn't the way to treat the situation, but inside me, it still hurt me. I'm still packing something from before that I'm letting control me. And that's what it is. If you guys are sucked in emotionally to something, to a reaction, to something that you're writing about what it was, then you're repeating your past. You're still dragging something along that's controlling you. If you've got to write it down, you've got to tell on yourself. That's what this is. This is only for you to see. Okay. And then when you flush that out, only then do you come over here and do you have the capacity to answer this question about how does this make you feel?
Yeah, it's not a good bad answer. It's not a one word. Oh, how did that make you feel? Oh, good. Good. That doesn't sound even good.
That's like
Bad.
here. I want to make a point with this because this is really important to understand. You meet somebody at the grocery store and you say, "Hey, Sally, how are you?"
Fine.
Okay, but it's almost like an intrusion. Okay, we got to think about the way we ask people. We communicate with people. So you say to them, "How are you?" And they go, "I'm fine." They're not. Okay, let me finish this.
Yeah.
They are not fine. Okay. So if you just answer how it makes you feel, oh, good, fine, bad, that's not answering how it makes you feel. You've got to go into it. I'll use another example. I'm going to step out on the ledge. In Guided, I thought I was done writing Guided, and only when I was done writing it did I let Ray read it. Ray reads it and he goes, "The suicide, Linda. I attempted suicide when I was 13." And he said, "How did it feel? What did you feel when you went into that action to end your life?" I said, "I didn't feel anything. I never thought about it before. I never thought it." He prodded me and he poked at me and he kept hitting me. "Answer it, Linda. Come on, get in there and answer it." And I was like, "God, I don't want to answer that. I don't want to go back to that." Even now, it was awful. Okay. But I got to tell you that when I went in there and I actually answered that and I wrote it in Guided so you guys would understand, all right, how to write this stuff down about how it made you feel. And with the fact that I felt nothing, and I said to Ray, I said, "Really, I felt like I was already gone from this world. I resigned myself to the fact that it was done. It was over. All I needed to do was find a place to finish it." So that was the truth. That's how I really felt. I felt nothing. Now, did I really realize that I felt nothing until he poked at me and you know made me go in there and answer that question, so you guys would understand, not just that part of Guided, but the whole rest of the book. Really answering those questions is the key, you guys. It's the key. It's how you guys are going to find your truth. It's how you're going to find your path, your direction, your knowingness, your guidance, and the way how you're going to know what to do and when to do it. It's in how it made you feel. And if you need somebody to help you, poke at you, help counsel you, help me figure out, you see what I wrote here on this one side, help me figure out how to get it out of myself. That's going to be the toughest thing. How do I get this out of me? And on the pages about how it made me feel. This is so critical. And only then will you have that bam realization. When Ray put me through that and I actually performed on it, I actually went in there and remembered how it felt and talked about what that was. Then I had a realization. I mean, read Guided and you'll see what it was. All right. I know how this process works. That's why I wrote these journals. So you guys, I reverse engineered my life by writing these. Okay. The companion journal to Guided. So this is going to be critical to your life going forward.
Okay, let's talk about going forward. Going on into 2021. We're not just going to think, oh, well, I hope it's better than
That is
last
such.
year.
Oh,
Okay, so the guides recently had a post that said, hoping without a plan of action is a bad strategy.
right.
So
Something like that.
you can hope things get better. You can hope anything gets
It's not
better.
a strategy.
Right. It's not a strategy at all.
No.
You're just kind of wishing and hoping, and
You know what that's like? That's like the pinball. You sit and you play a pinball machine, you pull back and that ball goes and it just causes all kinds of havoc and it's all over the place. You don't know where it's going to go. That's your life.
Yeah,
If you're
then you
just,
hit the paddle and it gets whacked that way.
and
And
you
it's like,
hope it doesn't fall down the chute.
right.
Okay.
It gets tired and rolls down the side and falls into the hole.
You don't want that to be your life, all right?
Life bats you around from from side to side on the pinball table until you get so tired you just give up and let go of the merry-go-round.
I know.
Fly off and slide down the hole, only to get launched out again.
You guys, it's karma. It's karma until we step in and we take control of the steering wheel. We're not the passenger. We're not in the back seat. We are in control. Now, is our control all that good? No, not in the beginning. It will not be that good in the beginning. But once you start, once you have a roadmap to get you there, okay, to bring you into consciousness, it won't take you long at all to start being a strong driver of your life, a solid, someone that you can count on better than anything else, and accessible to your guides. That's how you're going to know. And this is where you start doing it. You start having this conversation with yourself.
Okay, so let's get back on track here. We're going forward now into 2021.
Right.
All right. So I had a couple notes here that, and you made the same note that we were like, our minds are on the same track here.
That's not unusual.
Well, it means I probably can't have a private thought here.
Well, you
know it ahead of time.
You seem to be doing okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Ray?
All right. Taking a stand.
Yeah.
That comes out right to the front of 2021. Hey, you have to decide. Are you going to do this or are you not going to do this?
How are you going to know? You're not going to know. You need to review what happened in 2020. You need to take these steps.
Yeah. And
I want to say something. If any of you do not have my journal, okay, and you don't have it and you can't afford it, email me, Linda at lindadeer.com, and I will send you the PDF of these two sides, these two pages, so you can start doing this. You just make several copies of it so you can start. I don't want you guys to not have this. You need this to go forward into 2020 so you can know what your stand is.
Right. Take a stand. And the reason you want to take a stand is you want to look back on 2020 and say, well, I don't want to feel like that again.
You don't. You've got power. I want you guys to know you're here in this life right now because you're supposed to be. You're coming to the best time of your life, even with all this chaos, because of all this chaos. You guys are your masters. You came in as masters. You just forgot. Now you're going to remember. Now you're going to start doing this, and you're going to start getting it out of here where it controls you. And you're going to put it on these pages. And so you can look back at what you did. You can write it in there. You can do your work. You can look back and look back and look back at what you wrote and go, I got it. I know what to do. I got this thing. You guys are going to be so far ahead of the pack.
Okay, I took a stand. I got this thing. I know which way I'm going. But the next big thing that I made a note of, your ability to accept consequences.
That's right. Okay, Linda Schwartz, what you said, what am I going to do? My friends that don't get this, that they're not on the same page as me, they're totally missing it. All right. In her opinion. Okay. It's always our opinion, you guys. I'm not putting Linda down. I'm saying it's always our own opinion, our own bias, our own journey that we're pulling from. Okay. It's not your journey. It's not Michael's journey and Betty's journey and Candy's journey. And it's everyone's journey is different. That's why this is so important to do. So you start having this conversation with yourself and you find out what that is. Now, what was your question there? So I can get...
Well, once you realize that you're taking this
Okay, stand. The consequences. Okay, there it is. So Linda Schwartz was talking about, what do I do about my friends who just are floundering? I can't seem to help them. That they're not reaching out to me. They don't get it. Okay. Consequences, Linda. Consequences. What you're going to do when you stay on your path and you keep a solid path going forward, and you stay open to guidance, and you know how to take action on the guidance when in the moment, okay? Not put it off. Oh, I'll do it later. Not convenient right now. Can't be bothered with it. That doesn't work. That's not how guidance, that is not how it works. You either take action on it now while it's still valid. Guidance has a shelf life, or it's like a dream. It dissipates and the opportunity, the window of opportunity is gone. All right. So, Linda, your friends, your friends will find other friends. They won't want to hear what you have to say if they're opposing the way that you understand things, if they're on the opposite side of it. You don't, these friends, I mean, that's a consequence. You're going to have to, it's just going to happen. It's out of your hands. Whether you end it or they end it, it's going to end because you don't have a common ground. Okay. That's just how it works. So consequences are going to happen. My whole family worked against me, guided throughout my life, never stopped. To this day, they still attack me if they could. I'm 31 years away from them now. Okay, I made a choice back then. I was guided to get away from them. And my guides even told me, they said, Linda, you will not understand why you had to leave California, if that's where they live, for years to come. So there may be parts of this where you guys, you keep moving forward, you keep doing your journal writing, you keep understanding who you are, and you know, all everything's in this. You guys do this for 15 minutes a day. You're going to know where to go. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know who you are. Okay. It's going to just work, but there'll be people around you who will not understand it, who will laugh at you, put you down, criticize you, call you a kook, whatever they want to do. But you know what? They're suffering. They're suffering. So you guys, you can't be worried consequences. I couldn't be worried about my family. Family. Oh my God. But it's Linda. It's family.
That's the toughest one.
I know it's family. I tried to make it work for years and years. I tried. And they just come back at me and try to, oh, you guys can't, until you read guided, can you see what I'm talking about? There was no way I had a relationship there, no matter how much I tried to force it to be so. So I had to get right with it. I followed my guidance. They told me I wouldn't see it for years to come, and they were right. Okay, so I didn't dwell on it though. I moved to Arizona. I started my life over again where I knew nobody. All right. I mean, I really started over. And that's just one consequence I paid in my life. That's a pretty major one. But it was a consequence anyway, you guys. The other consequence, had I not moved on, would have been letting them keep raping me, raping my soul, raping my heart, stealing from me, lying to me, raping me. That's what it is, you guys. So I couldn't stand it. Now, if I tried to go back and even see them now, I don't think I could stand it. It's like an alcoholic. I've been clean for a long time now. And once you're away from it for a really long time, you don't even have the desire to smoke cigarettes again or to drink that alcohol again, whatever it is. Those kind of people are no longer in your life. You don't have people sucking the life out of you anymore. In fact, because you don't fill your life up with that kind of nonsense, that waste of time, all of a sudden, who you are, you start attracting the equal and similar type energy, and you're around people that really suit you.
Yeah, and you go back, when you try to go back and you see those same people that hurt you so badly that they haven't changed.
What they looked like to me, I had an incident a couple of years ago where my daughter came back at me, and she just found out I wrote guided. Okay, so she attacked me, and I said to Ray, I go, I didn't talk to her. It was all done through social media and stuff. I said, Ray, it sounds like she got worse. Ray says to me, he goes, no, she didn't. She didn't get worse. You got better. That's how this works. Okay. Okay, Ray. What do we have there, Ray?
Well, we have a good crowd tonight. Glad to see everybody.
We always have a good crowd.
Stacy Bauer, the door speaker, came in. Stacy, sorry about your car. Yeah, she lives on a corner where it's a very accident-prone corner, and she had an accident there a couple of years ago. Now she's got a different car now. So some guy jumped a curb and ran into her yard, hit her car in the yard. You need a smaller car, Stacy.
So what do we have, Ray?
And Heather says I'm late, but I'm here. Great.
Just listen to it from the beginning. There's
Yeah,
a lot of information in this. This is a critical session because this is a setup for 2021. You need to hear this from the beginning so you guys know what to do. Okay, you know what to do. If you can't afford my journal, email me. In the earlier part, I talked about it, and I'll send you the 2 primary pages that you can print over and over again to implement this, you guys. Okay.
Yeah, but if you print it over and over again and you start adding up how much it costs to print per page on your laser printer,
I know
you're gonna pay 4 times what the book.
For right now, it's
was.
okay to start. Okay, I'm on your side. I want you guys to have this.
Yep.
It's going to launch you. You're not going to believe it. Do the writing, the part where I talked about my glasses, at the very end where I talked about how it works. First steps will begin with writing in your journal about how you summarize 2020. Okay. Make a new journal entry for each major point. And then upon review of all these points, you will see for yourself where this is all pointing you to go. Guidance, what you stand for, and how to live it. Okay? That's what this is. You do not want to go into 2021. You do not want to go into 2021 unprepared. You do not want to do that. It's time to step up your game. All right. Okay. And one of the things, Ray came up with this. Ray looks at things from a different angle than I do, and it's always good. Numerology. Numerology goes from 1 to 9. 2021 is a 5. It's right smack dab in the middle. 1 to 4, then there's 5, and then it's 6 to 9. And so it's 4. It's 4 before the 5 and 4 after the 5. 5 is the number of change. It's the number that represents change. Change on a massive level, okay? Change. So you guys, the only other number in numerology that even comes close to the 5, the year of change, massive change, is 9, the last number in numerology. And that's like the completion of a book. That's when that part of your life is done. Whatever you did is done. You can't change it. You can't fix it. You can't do it differently. It's done. Okay. That's part of this lifetime. That's over now. But 5 is right smack dab in the middle. Massive changes. You are going to be that change. Change isn't going to happen to you from out here and bombard you and destroy you and defeat you. No, you are going to be the change. You are going to be empowered, and you are going to know how to take a stand and live it. That's the change that you're going to make. But you must do your review of 2020 before 2021. So you guys have what you need. You've got it. Okay.
And someday when your grandkids are going, hey, what'd you do during the big pandemic? You'll have it right in your book.
Boy, and it won't be a bunch of nonsense. Like, it won't be ridiculous. It will be something that you actually experienced, that you learned, that you became more because you lived it. Okay. You're going to be like their hero, but you're not if you can't really translate it to them in the way that it really happened, what really went down. Okay, not just this surface stuff. Oh, people didn't have jobs, and no, that's like the part where you answer the feeling, how it made you feel, and saying, oh, it made me, I'm fine. It's not an answer. It's not deep. It doesn't bring out anything that enhances your life going forward. You've got to answer those questions. Okay.
And you've got to ask the right questions. If you ask all your friends, hey, how you been? And they always say, fine, that's an invitation for them to lie.
It is.
You're forcing them into lying to you. Now you're starting off the conversation on the wrong foot. I mean, you got to change your questions. You have to ask better questions.
It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you. What great things have happened in your life since the last time
you don't have to say that. No, you don't even step into it. It's quicksand. Don't do it. Okay, just say, hey, it's nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Leave it alone. Don't put them in a corner, because people are really struggling, you guys. They're having a hard time. All right. Okay. In fact, we did a insight on this about stop asking me how I feel. We did it years ago. Yeah. Okay.
We've done a couple thousand of those things.
Right. We've done 200 and 63 of them, baby.
Linda's insights, and then many others before that.
Yeah, we've done
sessions where
we have, Ray. Okay, so you guys have this thing. You need these journal entry pages. Just let me know, Linda at lindadeer.com, and I'll send you the PDF. I want you guys to have this. I want you, where are we? We're the 29th, the 30th and the 31st, New Year's Eve. You can spend, you can't go out and have fun like you used to. New Year's Eve, you can spend New Year's Eve doing this so you're prepared for New Year's, for the new year. You're not hoping it's going to be better. You're guaranteed it's going to be better, because now you're participating. Okay. You're taking your life back. You guys are you're taking your power back. Okay. Join us next Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. Oh my God. For episode number 264 of Linda's Weekly Guided Insights with me, Ray, and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time on my Facebook page, Facebook timeline, and YouTube channel. Use the search term Linda Deer. Okay. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, my spirit guides will be talking about growing, not just going through your life.
Oh, that's good.
Here's what this insight will do for you. What you learned about yourself in 2020, that's what you need to do. You need to write this out before we start the new year. What you learned about yourself in 2020 will determine your fate in 2021. It's important to understand that many lessons were given to you in 2020. In general, these lessons affected the masses the same way, while the individual had a different reaction. This silent majority, the individual, kept their feelings and realizations to themselves. This is what you need to write. You need to flush it out, you guys. For these individuals, it will be more important than ever to document your journey so you can make the best decisions going forward. These individuals are paying attention and growing through their lives. This Saturday, January 2nd at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I will be reading from the 137 tips, learnings, lessons, and awarenesses sprinkled throughout Guided on my Facebook page, Facebook timeline, and YouTube channel. Use the search term Linda Deer. And this reading will awaken you to the guidance that's always available. And to summarize, if my work has changed your life in any way, share what I do with your like-minded friends. You can take them to the website. You can tell them about the books. You can have them join us on Tuesdays. You can have them join us on Saturdays. You can tell them about the training I'm going to be doing, you guys, starting in February. It's really going to be good. I'm going to take teaching you guys how to do this and the power to do it to a new level. All right. You guys are going to have what you need. You have what you need now, but it's reinforcement. It's added value. It strengthens you. All right. Like I always say, I remind you who you are because you already have it. So the guides are going to close tonight's session about what's the name of it, Ray?
What to expect in 2021.
All right. We're also going to have a new sound system in the new year, you guys. Yes. All right.
New board.
We are.
We're moving up in the world here in the
We
podcast world.
We all are. We're moving up together. Okay.
Moving on up.
We wouldn't do this without you guys. All right. Remember to breathe. When you come into 2021, when you write in your journal, breathe. Okay. And here they go.
Why is history studied by so many? It's because people want to know what happened. What happened before I got here? What happened around the time I was born? What happened last year? If you don't analyze 2020 right now and write down what happened in your life and what you experience, you will never be able to tell your grandkids about the year 2020 by the time they study it in school. It will all be changed into convenient courses of study that had nothing to do with what really happened. It will become a fairy tale, like most history is today. We want you to realize that in 2021, you must choose a side, take a stand for something you believe in with your heart. You also must be honest with yourself about what your tolerance is for consequences, both bad consequences and positive consequences. What will you give up to get what you so strongly desire? Once you are able to put those two things into words, all that's left is to go out and live in accordance with your inner directives and convictions.
And I will tell you that 2021, you will be forced to make a decision,
Right.
one way or the other.
Right.
So you may as well position yourself right now to make a qualified one, to make the best decision you have ever made. You're going to take a stand. You're going to have no choice, no more riding the fence. You can't wishy-washy, ride the fence, kind of, oh, I don't want to make them mad. Oh, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to, rock the boat. I don't want to. No more of that. No wishy-washy anymore. It's going to be one or the other. Okay. You're going to take, and I want to say this too. And I forgot where this came. We do so much work. We do coaching and training and, the insights and the webinars, and oh my God, I after a while I forget where the information came from, but I don't want to lose my train of thought on this. 2021 about taking a stand. The guides said, don't react to anything. Don't make a solid decision to do one thing or another for about a year, 18 months, something like that. They're like right in there somewhere. Oh, in fact, Ray, come back for a minute. Let's let them, instead of me trying to paraphrase it. Okay. You guys talked about it. I think it was the webinar we did the end of November.
It was,
Ray. Okay. Explain this to them, that what I'm trying to say here, what you said.
We said not to rush the important decision you will need to make.
Right.
Do not panic thinking you don't have enough time. The decision is one that will affect the rest of your life. It will be a decision where you go forward without doubt or fear, and you will find something you may not have had before in your life. Courage.
You guys, it's critical that you summarize your year, the major points in this year. You might have 4 journal entries. You might have 2 journal entries. You might have 10 journal entries, but it's critical that you look it over now before the new year starts and it starts to get loud and overwhelm you, where you forgot where you came from, where you were still in 2020 before it ended. Okay. It's critical that you do this. It's going to make the rest of your life the best of your life. That's what I want to say. All right. You guys, we love you guys. We don't want you to suffer. We don't want you and your family, your kids, or anybody to suffer that you can help. But remember that you can't help somebody by going where they're at. And you
have to put on your oxygen mask before you can help save anybody else.
That's right. And if they don't come to you, if they don't ask you for your opinion, your help, your counsel, whatever, then don't push it on them. All you need to do is focus on you. Whatever they do, if they're not open to you, then you need to start writing about you in that situation to see how this is going to play out. Because you know what? You can't be with people who don't support you anymore. That's going to be what's going forward. You can't put up with jobs you hate and makes you sick. You can't go on neglecting yourself and not having a balanced life. You can't go on. You're going to find it on the pages, but you have to start writing it down. All right. Yeah. Okay, you guys, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you next year.
See you Saturday, 1 o'clock.
See you Saturday. Yeah, well, that'll be the next year, won't it?
It is the second.
What are we talking about Saturday?
Well, I already talked about it.
Oh, okay.
You have to replay this video so you can remember what happened, Ray.
Okay. I'll do that.
Ray's good. He's
right,
great.
You're right about that, huh?
What would I do without my Ray? Oh, man.
Out. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, you guys.